Welcome to Lesson 2, where we will discuss personal health records, also known as PHRs. Let's start off with a definition so that we're all on the same page with this key term. Personal health records, or PHRs, are a collection of an individual's health information, and it is most commonly managed using an electronic system. These personal records are managed by the patient themselves or even the caregivers of the patient. For example, a parent may manage the personal record of her young child, or an adult may manage the personal record of his or her aging mother or father. PHRs can include information directly from healthcare providers or from the patient themselves. They are maintained in a secure and private environment where the patient determines the rights of access to that information. This can include how it is collected, used, and disclosed to others. Lastly, a PHR is separate from and does not replace the legal record of any healthcare provider's records. So this definition comes from another important health IT group called AHIMA, sometimes pronounced AHIMA, or the American Health Information Management Association. AHIMA is an organization that provides best practices and educational resources that support the people and research associated with the health IT profession, so it's a good group to know about. PHRs can be managed using various types of platforms. Up until recently, personal health records were kept on paper in a paper-based organizational system. You may actually have something like this. For instance, when I was little, my mom wrote down the vaccinations that I received as a baby when I lived in New Jersey, and I still have that paper record in my home safe so that I can reference it if I need to remember the dates of each one. However, since the emergence of personal computers, word processing, and organizational tools like Excel, and cloud storage applications like Google Docs, many people keep a record of their personal health in a digital form. So the second PHR platform is electronic-based, which are organized on a computer or accessed via the web. The last platform type we tend to talk about is mobile. This again is a type of electronic-based record, but the records can actually travel around with the individual via smart cards, USB drives, or smartphone apps. We'll talk more about this type of electronic and mobile apps in the next few slides. The other important characteristic of a PHR is whether or not it is directly connected to an electronic health record, or EHR, which is the medical records that are generated by a provider like a doctor at a hospital. The first type is called tethered, which means it's connected to the provider's existing EHR system and its data. On the other hand, an untethered PHR is a standalone application that is not connected to a provider's EHR or its data. So what data is typically found in a personal health record? The National Institutes of Health U.S. Library of Medicine provides some recommendations for individuals who want to create their own, as well as software companies who want to develop PHR applications that patients could use on their computers or smartphones. The key information includes full name, date of birth, blood type, and emergency contact information like phone, address, email, and so on. Dates are also important to track, so they also recommend the date of your last physical with your general physician, the dates and results of any recent tests or screenings, the dates of any major illnesses or surgeries, and the dates of all vaccinations or other shots. Medication is especially important for individuals to track, so the U.S. Library of Medicine also recommends a list of any medication or supplement, including the dosage and duration of taking that drug. Finally, it's also important for an individual to include their allergies, chronic diseases or disorders, and a history of family illness. As with any personal record, it's also good to list any other health information that the patient thinks is important to track for him or herself. For instance, a woman who is trying to get pregnant may want to track data about her reproductive health, or a man who is just diagnosed with prostate cancer may want to track notes from doctor's appointments or side effects of any drugs he might be taking. So what are the benefits of having a personal health record? ONC HIT highlights a few key benefits. The first is that it improves patients' engagement with their own health. Because when patients can track their own health over time and be more aware of their own health data, then they tend to make more informed decisions about their own health. PHRs also combine and centralize information from multiple providers for the patient. A 2010 survey reported that an American had approximately 18.7 doctors throughout their entire lifetime. This can be a lot of segregated information about one's vaccinations, medications, procedures, and other diagnosis and treatment notes over the course of their life. So a PHR offers the opportunity to centralize all of this information for an individual and improve care coordination across various providers. Because of patient engagement and access to patient information, this leads to a third benefit, which is that PHRs can facilitate better communication between the patients and the providers. By having more informed and direct communication, providers can provide more personalized care and more immediate interventions if needed. Next, PHRs help ensure patient information is easily accessible. This is especially critical when a patient has an emergency situation or if the patient is traveling. Easily being able to sign into a system to get access to accurate personal health records can help emergency responders or foreign providers better care for new patients. Lastly, one of the main benefits of PHRs are that they encourage family health management. Having a system for tracking and updating healthcare information can be very beneficial for caregivers, such as those caring for young children, elderly parents, or spouses. PHRs help these caregivers provide better communication and coordinate with providers in order to improve the quality and accuracy of the healthcare that the patient receives.